Mistover. As an RPG that not so subtly draws inspiration from the game Darkest Dungeon, where you have a variety of classes that you recruit and level up, and if they die in battle, that is it, and then you have to recruit another one. So it's that group that you are upgrading over time. This one came out in late 2019 and is on Xbox Game Pass on only PC, not on console. A mysterious mist comes up around the village that you are doing expeditions in, recruiting members, and is affecting people within the town and then those that go out on these expeditions where things are constantly changing. So not too different from like the Darkest Dungeon type of a theme where it's a monster in the basement and then it affects everything and then you have to reconquest these different locations. Doing a similar thing here too. You're going to different locations that have different monsters, creatures appropriate to them. Like I've done like the first two, the forest one and then the church one, and there's like creatures related to those two types. The difference with this one is they're going for a more teen type of a theme, and anime mixed in with this Lovecraftian. So it's for a different audience, kind of, but similar type of mechanics. Gameplay is similar too, but the biggest difference that you'll notice is from the side view, you have not just a horizontal line across with 4 characters, and you have 5, and you have 3 sections to put them in. So you have empty spaces that they can move to or be pushed into. Along with this, there are co-op abilities that if they are unlocked and you're with an appropriate character, you can use once per turn that have a big impact on the battle. And these get really complicated because as you have multiple characters, some have to be in front of each other, behind each other, or even off to the side. But before you go on an expedition, you're able to position where each of them are at, and then if they can do an ability, you'll see a little orange line across from one to the other, and it gets more complicated as all your characters unlock abilities. After each expedition, similar kind of a thing, you level up. If you have completed one, there's a percentage bar at the bottom showing how far you have gone, and then if you do some things that are extra, there's a countdown clock in this one. It goes down away, and then if you fail, though, even if all your characters survive, you miss some things like lighting flowers, there's different objectives, then it goes up. And this mechanic is fine. All of these can be tweaked, too. So different approach, but they have them preset for the normal difficulty where each of these things are at, but then you can tweak it if you want more or less difficulty. Bunch of different shops too, like with Darkest Dungeon. Differences here. The weapons you have upgrading, but one difference is you can fuse them in an alchemy workshop. What this does is instead of selling equipment, you can make them a little bit stronger. And there's equipment that you have to collect to be able to do this. So it's a little more complicated. At first I thought this was kind of tedious, but then since it is limited, it is worth kind of having it. So you have that management aspect. Map-wise, though, it's similar. You have your 3 places to explore in each different biome, like with the forest one, and then it tells you if one of the objectives that you got is called the office with Mistover. If it is there, you'll see a scroll on it, and then it'll tell you, like, collecting different things, or it could be saving a group that was on an expedition, different things like that. And then you get a reward if you complete it, and then your characters level up, and then you go to the next one. So similar type of progress. Most of the rest is the same. It costs money to recruit more troops. As you get farther into the game, you can have a larger cast at a time. You can also have them, they start with a higher level. There's different shops, like a support lab that you can use for this one. One thing that is absent, though, is camping. You don't have like you do in Darkest Dungeon. But big difference, just looking at the game, is the aesthetic. You have this cutesy anime type of aesthetic, which has the tropes kind of unfortunately too. And in this way, this is kind of the most off-putting if you are coming from Darkest Dungeon, where that was much more unique, using not only the Lovecraftian, but the kind of realistic medieval type of theme, and it was darker, grittier in that way. So, but once you get past that, you have a fairly similar game with different tweaks. Another example, though, is like there's an alchemy shop, and you have the character, the cat-looking thing, and then the girl that's running it is shy. So those kind of a tropes that go in. But I found after playing it for a little while, you kind of forget about it, and then you just appreciate the differences. Because some it's kind of cool to have the different characters. There's like a Ronin, and then the witch is overused, but that's also something different. So, but really, you're looking at a lot of the same stuff that you can expect. You can expand your storage, the maximum amount of stuff you can have, how you level up your characters. Besides the alchemy difference, there's that slight tweak that you have there, and then the rest is really straightforward. It's the time fiddling is very important, though. It's not casual. I played up through the second biome. This is why I'm calling this an impressions video. And I enjoyed it. It's kind of a shelf life game like Darkest Dungeon, where it's not really about beating it. It's about experiencing it, having those suspense, tense moments. And you have that with this one, too. And it seems well balanced with where it's at, in April. I know it came out late last year. There were some complaints about that. But in my experience, like with the classes and what you can do and upgrading, it seems to all work with how it is. The anime thing, I don't really care. It's more the predictability of it, which is here. But that wasn't not really a big deal after playing a couple hours. You really just appreciate the difference with the aesthetic. But this is the best one to check out to kind of see how much you want to play it. And if you really want to invest a lot of time, then buy it, that kind of a thing. If you are checking it out on Game Pass, please check out the links below. It's on PC only. Subscribe if you really like the video. And I'll see you next time.